Greetings, Guardians, and welcome back to Olympus Alliance. Today we continue our team building series, but with a twist. In the last few videos, we focused on what to build. We showed you strong hero cores, reliable foundations, and flexible combinations that survive meta shifts and keep their value over time. But today's episode is just as important. Because today, we're talking about what not to build. And this matters more than people think. As a YouTube channel that watches the meta evolve every single patch, every single season, we still see outdated advice being repeated again and again. Old videos resurface. Old team names get recycled. And players, especially newer ones, end up investing huge amounts of gold, skins, artifacts, and time into cores that simply don't function in 2026. So today, we're going to clean house. These are not bad heroes. These are outdated cores, combinations that once ruled the game, but no longer match the pace, control, and pressure of the modern meta. Let's break them down, and more importantly, explain why they no longer belong. We'll start with the most famous one of all. If you're playing Hero Wars Alliance on Android, the February special on Huawei AppGallery is a great way to get extra value from your in-game purchases. From February 1st to February 28th, 2026, you can earn 20% rewards on eligible purchases. For every €1 or equivalent you spend, you receive reward value through exclusive reward coupons. These rewards can be redeemed for limited time coupons available during the February event. The more you play and spend, the more value you unlock, helping you save on future purchases. Rewards are not granted when using Huawei points, and only the cash amount spent counts toward rewards. To join, simply download Hero Wars Alliance through Huawei AppGallery. Your game progress is completely safe. Just sign in and continue playing. This is a limited time February event, so don't miss it. Fafnir, Artemis, Tristan, often called Fart. If you played a few years ago, you remember this core vividly. For a long time, it was the dominant setup. Tristan generated energy and armor penetration. Fafnir shielded and buffed Artemis. And once Artemis fired her ultimate, entire teams vanished. The problem is simple, that world no longer exists. Fart is a slow ramp composition in a fast resolution meta. It requires time to stack energy, time to survive pressure, time to reach Artemis ultimate. And in 2026, most fights are decided long before that window opens. Even worse, the counters are everywhere. Oya directly punishes Artemis by disrupting her flow and targeting her survivability. Tempest interferes with Tristan's timing and energy manipulation. Fafnir himself is simply too slow to become relevant in modern fights, where shields need to be immediate and impact must be front-loaded. Add to that the rise of control heroes like Polaris, Somna, and Tempest, and the entire momentum of Fart collapses. Slows, stuns, delays, all of these stop Artemis from ever reaching the moment she needs to shine. Yes, you will still see Fart mentioned in comments. Yes, you might still see it recommended in older guides. But outside of very specific scenarios like Hydra, this is no longer a core worth building. If you're spending resources in 2026, Fart should not be one of your priorities. Next, let's talk about a core that surprises many players when we put it on this list. Corvis and Morrigan. When they were introduced, Core more completely changed the game. They punished damage over time heroes. They destroyed resurrection mechanics. They were a nightmare for heroes like Iris, Kayla, Yasmin, Kira, and Heidi. Back then. But the game has evolved, and left them behind. Health pools are dramatically higher now. Corvus Altar simply doesn't apply enough pressure to threaten modern tanks or bruisers. Heroes like Kayla can sit on the altar and survive. Worse, experienced players now turn the altar against Corvus using Dorian's Aura or Oios Crete-based healing. Instead of punishing the enemy, Corvus often ends up empowering them. Morrigan's Resurrection Denial was once unique, but it no longer is. Iris Rework and Derain's execution mechanics both cancel Resurrection naturally, without needing Morrigan at all. That makes her role redundant rather than essential. In Eternity teams today, Core More is no longer the backbone. It's the limitation. If you're building Eternity in 2026, your long-term value comes from heroes like Derain, Tempest, Electra, Octavia, and Dante. These heroes scale, adapt, and function across multiple compositions. Or, if you want a timeless Eternity foundation, build the Dodge engine, Dante and Octavia. That synergy remains relevant in every season because dodge, tempo, and energy manipulation never go out of style. Now let's handle two cores together, because they share the same problem. KSJ and KDF. Kira, Sebastian, Jet. Kira, Dorian, Fafnir. These were once terrifying names. The Kira blender shredded teams with crits and attack speed. KDF was a powerful answer to Corvus and soft mage lines. But today, Kira herself is the issue. She is a classic glass cannon in a game that no longer rewards that profile. Her damage spreads across the entire enemy team without reliably finishing targets. That means she charges enemy energy instead of closing fights. Modern damage dealers either execute, isolate, scale pressure, or disrupt tempo. Kira does none of those effectively anymore. Her survivability is low. Her damage profile is outdated. And her cores are extremely difficult to repurpose into modern teams. Yes, the names sound catchy. Yes, Kira is accessible early. But investing deeply into these cores in 2026 is a trap. There are better physical damage dealers. There are better Krita engines. There are better ways to spend your resources. And that's really the core message of this video. Avoiding these cores isn't about saying they were bad. They were great, in their time. But Hero Wars changes fast. A month can be a lifetime. A year is an eternity. So always check timestamps. Always question outdated advice. And always build for the future, not for nostalgia. Because smart accounts aren't built on hype, they're built on adaptability. And that's what we do here at Olympus Alliance. If this guide saved you resources, helped you rethink your builds, or stopped you from investing in the wrong direction, make sure to let us know in the comments. Subscribe for the next installment in our team building series, because knowing what not to build is just as powerful as knowing what to build. Stay sharp, stay informed, and as always, salute and friendship.